Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at the fascinating yet incredibly tragic story of the LZ-129 Hindenburg. You know, it's one of those moments that's just etched into the fabric of history, an event that completely flipped how we view technology, risk, and the very future of travel. We're going to look closely at the day the sky literally caught fire, unpacking the massive triumphs and the devastating failures behind one of the most iconic moments in aviation history.
The Hindenburg wasn't just some machine. It was the absolute pinnacle of human imagination back then. I mean, it represented luxury, cutting-edge innovation, and what literally everyone believed was the inevitable future of air travel. But in a terrifyingly brief window, less than 35 seconds, this monumental engineering triumph turned into a devastating warning, a harsh reality check about the limits of human innovation and the real dangers of hubris.
Chapter 1. Giant of the Skies.
Picture this. It's May 6, 1937. The world is watching in absolute awe as the largest airship ever built prepares for another historic landing. The age of giant airships seemed like it was just getting started, right? The public was totally captivated. But to really grasp the scale of this achievement, you've got to think about this number for a second. 804. The Hindenburg was over 804 feet. That's 245 meters long. To put that into perspective, it remains one of the largest flying vehicles humanity has ever created, even today. It was a literal giant of the skies. When this massive structure floated overhead, it actually blocked out the sun.
And flying on the Hindenburg? Well, it wasn't exactly like cramming into a modern economy seat, that's for sure. This was one of the most exclusive, highly luxurious travel experiences in the entire world. Passengers were treated to elegant dining rooms, entirely private cabins, a sprawling lounge, and, of course, breathtaking views from way up above the clouds. Built by Germany, it was the absolute peak of 1930s engineering. Plus, it wasn't just some untested prototype. The Hindenburg had already pulled off multiple successful transatlantic flights, which had really solidified the trust of both the passengers and the crew.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Hidden right beneath that elegant design was a fatal flaw. Unlike the planes we fly today, the Hindenburg relied on a massive volume of lifting gas just to stay up in the air. Now, engineers basically had two choices: hydrogen or helium. Helium was the much safer alternative, no question, but Germany simply had very limited access to it at the time. So that meant they had to rely on hydrogen. And while hydrogen gave them excellent lift, it was extremely and dangerously flammable. The engineers fully understood this danger, but because of those resource constraints, hydrogen was really the only practical choice they had to get this giant off the ground.
Chapter 2. The Final Approach. So, it's the evening of May 6, 1937. The Hindenburg is making its final approach toward Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey. Everything appeared completely normal, but the countdown to tragedy had unknowingly begun. Just imagine the atmosphere down on the ground. Hundreds of spectators had gathered just to watch this marvel land. You had journalists checking their cameras, newsreel crews perfectly positioned, everyone fully expecting to capture yet another routine, triumphant landing. The mood was totally celebratory. Absolutely nobody on the ground or up in the sky could even begin to imagine that within mere moments, this magnificent airship would burst into flames.
The sequence of events that followed was terrifyingly rapid. As the airship lined up to land, the crew worked quickly to manage the mooring ropes. It was pretty windy out there. The spectators are just watching this great airship glide overhead. And then, a sudden spark. Witnesses reported seeing a flash right near the tail section. Within seconds, flames started racing along the outer fabric skin. And once those highly flammable hydrogen cells ignited, the chain reaction was completely unstoppable. The entire structure was consumed in under 35 seconds.
Less than 35 seconds. Think about how fast that is. Cameras rolling on the ground captured the unimaginable horror as the burning giant crashed down. Passengers and crew were scrambling in terror, with some literally jumping from the falling wreckage just to escape the blaze. Down on the ground, brave folks immediately ran forward to try and help, but the intense heat and fire just forced them back. As the shocking radio reports and film footage spread across the globe, what was supposed to be a triumph of technology instantly became an unforgettable, horrific disaster.
Chapter 3. Searching for Answers. In the immediate aftermath, the world was just left in a state of absolute shock. As the smoke finally cleared at Lakehurst, investigators frantically started searching for answers. I mean, how could such a meticulously engineered machine ignite so suddenly? Well, two main theories emerged from the wreckage. Theory 1 suggests that a leak of that highly flammable hydrogen gas combined with a static electric spark, maybe caused by the windy conditions and the ropes touching the ground, triggered the fire. Theory 2, on the other hand, points the finger at the highly flammable outer coating, the actual fabric skin of the airship itself. And what's really fascinating here is that despite decades of intensive research by historians and engineers, the exact sequence of events is still a debated mystery today. We definitely know what fueled the fire, but the precise trigger, that's still up for debate.
Chapter 4. The airship era ends.
Now, while the exact cause might still be debated, the consequences of that day were immediate and they were absolute. This single, undeniable disaster forced the entire world to rethink air safety, and it abruptly marked the end of an era. Those shocking images of the burning Hindenburg completely shattered public confidence in passenger airships almost overnight. Before this, they were the glorious future. After this, they were a terrifying liability. The pivot in the aviation industry was massive and swift. Governments, airlines, and the public immediately turned their attention away from giant passenger airships, shifting all their resources and trust over to fixed-wing airplanes. And those, as we know, very quickly became the true future of long-distance travel.
Chapter 5. A Legacy of Caution.
Today, nearly a century later, the Hindenburg is remembered for so much more than just its tragic end. It left behind some profound lessons for all future engineers and innovators. It showed us that even the greatest technological achievements absolutely must be paired with rigorous, careful safety planning. The engineers knew the risks of hydrogen, but they proceeded anyway because of resource constraints. So the Hindenburg stands as a powerful reminder that while innovation can inspire the world and push our boundaries, overconfidence and hubris carry enormous, devastating risks. History can literally change in a matter of seconds.
Innovation inspires, but overconfidence destroys. As we look around at all the incredible advancements of our own era, we really have to ask ourselves, what modern technological marvels might be hiding their own hydrogen? It's a critical question we're thinking about as we continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. Well, if you enjoyed this explainer, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more cinematic explainers exploring history's greatest mysteries. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.